What time is it? I'll tell you what time it is. It's carbon fiber time. It's time to put some carbon fiber on that air splitter we made. So let's get into it. Alright, well I had a little time. I had to order some more carbon fiber, so I have a couple different like pinholes and like this joint I wasn't going to worry about. But I figured I might as well mix up a little icing, go ahead and get some of these bigger ones taken care of, just so that way hopefully it doesn't, transfer through. Alright, got those all filled up. There wasn't too many, so let that dry, knock them down, squirt them with a little more paint, and then we'll be ready to get on for the carbon fiber tomorrow. So I got all that sanded down. I'm going to come back in and go ahead and hit all these spots that I hit with the filler, because you do want everything black. When you put that carbon fiber over whatever you're putting it over, if it's white or a lighter color, you got a really good chance of that light color shining through the grooves of the carbon fiber, especially if you're only doing one layer, because I'm just overlaying this. So if it's black, then black's going to shine through and you're never going to know the difference. So I'm going to get this edge all painted up and sealed up, and then we'll get on the carbon fiber. All right, so we got everything out here that we're going to be using, I think. I did not use these guys last time, but I saw them, and so I figured they might work pretty good for laying on down that carbon fiber. We'll see. So I got my carbon fiber, my resin, the hardeners. We got a pair of shears to cut the carbon fiber, my scale, little throwaway brush, the cup, some rubber gloves, and some tape. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to start laying this carbon fiber out and getting it cut. We'll get all of our individual pieces cut. That way we know where everything goes before we mix up our resin. And then we'll lay our resin down, carbon fiber down, and then a coat of resin on top of that. So let's get it going. All right, so I got everything out of the way. I got my one end up there, my one end down there, front, middle, front. I got indicator marks laid out, so that way I know how far to run my resin and to line it all up. And I got my scale over here, zeroing it out. I'm gonna start getting the resin mixed up. My workbench is very messy, but that's what it's about. Just progress. Was cool, so I wasn't recording, so I have all my resin down. I'm gonna start getting the carbon fiber on, so you will get to see that. So let's get going. Alright, I got some more resin mixed up. I'm going to go a little quicker this time. I am going to go in and I'm going to hit these spots that want to pull, just to get them sauced down and get a little weight on them, like the corners. Anywhere that's going to be weird, these seams, I'm just going to go in and get some sauce on them first. All this stuff will just... Alright, so I figured I'd just do a little update of the time lapse. So I did get my first coat of resin, laid all the carbon fiber down just to catch us up to where we are. I did my first coat of resin on the carbon fiber. I let that sit, and then now this is my second coat, which I went pretty heavy on it just to get some depth to it. We're gonna let this, got two little air bubbles I need to get out up front. I'm gonna let this go off, and then we'll throw a third coat on top of it. I think I'm probably gonna do, I don't know, 4 or 5 coats plus the top coat before I finish it out. But it definitely looks super duper cool. I was bummed out about a couple of these little spots, and if you didn't see, I let one of my batches of resin pop off when I was putting the carbon fiber on. But you know, you make mistakes. You got to remember to keep that stuff agitated, keep it moving, and it won't go off, or it'll just chemically react and get hot and turn into a ball of yaya. Also, I did want to add, I am not wearing a respirator, but I have my shop door open and a fan going, so I have really, really good ventilation. If I was in my shop with the door closed and the heater on or something, I would definitely be wearing my respirator, but it's not too bad, especially with the huge bay door open and being right by it. So, just wanted to throw that out there. Safety first. I just did final coat. It's all leveling out and looking good, and now it's going to start getting cloudy and making me nervous because I'm using a polyester with a catalyst. So with this type of resin, it does not get hard between every coat. It stays slightly tacky. You have to add this wax additive, which allows the resin to dry completely. And when you do that, I'm assuming the way that it works is because obviously it's a chemical reaction, it off gases and it allows the air to be removed from it completely, and then it gets all cloudy. And it scared me the first time I did it because obviously it turned all milky and cloudy and not beautiful and crystal clear like that. But then you sand it, sand the wax off the top because it comes up to the top, so you can already see how it's starting to get kind of dull. And then you cut it and buff it and it goes back to shiny. So here we go. So now it is fully cured. It's been 24 hours on that, so you can see how it has a cloudy sheen. So I started just dry sanding over here. I think I got like some 800. I'm gonna mow all that down. So I'm not gonna get super crazy with this. I'm gonna sand it, I'm gonna wet sand it, and then we're gonna cut it and buff it. But I did take my big ol' aggressive Bondo file, and anywhere that there was drips hanging down, I just went ahead and hit this whole bottom with the file to get it all cleaned up and to knock those bigger boogers off, so I'm not sanding it for a million years. And then I will have to flip it over, cut off all that tape and that edge that's down there, trim up these sides because I left these sides long, so I'm just going to trim those to the face with a cutoff wheel. I'll get all that done before we start cutting and buffing, and then get this thing mounted back up. Alright, so now that we're all wet sanded, I cleaned everything, and we're going to go ahead and get on the cutting and then buffing. So I am just going to do 3 steps on this. I wet sanded this down 600 and then 1000. I probably should have done 1500, but it doesn't look that bad. I didn't really grind on it too hard. Give you guys some of the gratification for hanging around, but look at that. Yeah, I'm digging it. Let's get this thing cleaned up and get it on. All right, well there it is. I kind of just turboed on and didn't video putting it all back together, but look at that action. So there's that split in the middle that I talked about in the corners. But yeah, I'm jazzed on how it turned out. I think the car looks killer. It looks cool when it was black, but it definitely looks cool in carbon fiber. Project complete. There's another upgrade on the old third gen. We got the carbon fiber on there. I was a little worried about how it was going to turn out, especially with having to graft that centerpiece in, but I think it looks killer. What do you guys think? Comment down there below and let me know if you like it or if you don't like it, because I am going to be doing the rear spoiler and my mirrors. It's kind of the game plan, so we'll see how it goes. I got to keep getting better at it, but you know, not too shabby for winging it. But as always, really appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget, hit that like, and you know, you're already watching this far, you might as well go ahead and subscribe. We got more coming. Diesel trucks, more upgrades on this, other stuff, other project builds, and definitely more track days. I think I actually want to get out and maybe drag race this thing. So we'll see. But until next time, around us, maybe we'll go and do it too. So as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.